When you plant Wyffels Hybrids, you're making a statement that independence and family-owned means something on your farm. So make your choice. Plant your independence. Plant Wyffels.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of InCYde Zone. I'm Jacqueline Cordova, and I'm joined by Jake Remsburg and Jirehl Brock. Colin Newell, apparently very sick, has no voice. He's down. Voice.
Screaming at the clones this weekend.
I know.
Yeah.
Prayers to Newell. I hope you feel better, buddy. Get some NyQuil in your system, maybe a little tea. It's a good, tea type of year. Maybe some hot chocolate.
Wow.
It's whatever helps you, buddy. We're thinking of you tonight. He's actually good. We're just making fun of him right now. So
yeah, he's fine. He just has a sore throat, I guess.
Screaming out the damn clones, man.
Yeah,
he's not dedicated like we are, Jirehl. We'll sit here and we'll talk. Actually, Jirehl's the most dedicated because he's the only one that's had to sit through every single loss we've had this year. So
it's God gives his, hardest battles to his strongest warriors.
I love that, man.
You're so
good for you, Jirehl. I love it.
We're here.
Well, yeah. Well, Iowa State, as we all know by now, like I said in our group chat, we've all kind of beat it to death at this point. Iowa State lost to Arizona State in the Big 12 championship, 45-19. It obviously was a very tough watch. Would definitely love to know how you guys felt about it. What were your takeaways, especially given that Remy, you were at the game. Jirehl, you watched it on TV. Like, I would love to know what the broadcast was like. I heard it was very pro Arizona State even before it started.
Yeah, I mean, even going leading up and seeing the college football playoff and seeing like the ranking of how Arizona State was in the playoff, like you can kind of feel already that people thought that Arizona State was going to win this game, which I thought was kind of weird. Just because we were ranked high early and everything like that, I thought they would have gave us more grace for sure. But no, I think broadcast was definitely like pro, and I felt that way so many different times this year. It's just so anti like Iowa State. I don't know. And that's one thing I really like that you go to all the games a lot, Jake, just so we can get both perspectives. So how was it like fan wise? How was it down there in Jerry's world?
I mean, that stadium is so cool. I mean, I know we were there in 2020, but I kind of blacked out through that game as
it was COVID too. Not many people. It wasn't the same feel, I bet.
I had a couple of pain meds in me because I was in a sling. So better memories than that for me, at least. But it's a really cool stadium, really cool environment, really cool the place to play football. But I mean, yeah, it's so much hype leading up to it. I mean, Iowa State fans were rolling Friday night and Saturday morning. It was pretty cool. Yeah. The crazy thing, honestly, I thought was Friday night, there's a ton of Iowa State fans. And I was like, oh, this is going to be, there's not a ton of Arizona State fans around. I know we had that little happy hour with the Wyffels and Cycling Fanatic, which was fun. But then the Saturday morning, just the Arizona State fans came out of nowhere. Like,
they were seriously.
I was like, oh my gosh, they're everywhere. And so that was the crazy part for me a little bit leading up to the game. And then, the game, not fun. Those games are never fun. I've been a part of a couple of them. So, I mean, it takes the crowd out when, you go down like that. But honestly, for me, it was a great time because I saw so many ex-teammates that were, it's like so cool to see. I saw X. Haven't seen X in years.
I was getting FOMO, man, just because I saw all the boys were together.
I know. I saw Greg Eisworth, Ennie, Isaiah, just TJ was down there. So, I mean, a couple of those guys had buys this weekend in the NFL. So, it's really cool to see them. So, that was a positive from, being in the stadium, seeing all those guys. But, I mean, it was a cool game to go to at the end of the day. Like, something you'll remember, whether you win or lose. if you got the chance
Not
to be
something that
there.
happens
So,
every year, man.
you
It's
know,
not something that
absolutely
happens
not.
every year. Hopefully,
No.
we can make it something that happens every year. But until then, got to cherish those
Right.
moments for sure.
Right. No, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, I think we you know, a lot of people have hit on the game. Just touching on it briefly. I mean, you know, I thought the first part of the second quarter, we were right there in them. We're competing. We were playing pretty decently. But when you go through a stretch there where you're down 17 with not much time left, and I mean, not 17, pardon me, 7 with not much time left in the second quarter, you're kind of thinking, okay, if we go to halftime down 7, fine, that'll be fine. We're a second half team. But then they score again before half, and it's 14-point deficit, and then you start the second half with some turnovers, and we've hit it all year. That's how we have won games this year at Iowa State, is not turning the ball over and just being the team that's better at the fine details. And when you don't do that, that's kind of the results you get, which is unfortunate. But yeah, it's kind of the way the football works. You can watch it, all over the country. You can look at the Chiefs even. Like I saw a thread of all the Chiefs' last possession wins this year. Like it's a team that's really good at the details. They'll execute when it matters the most, and you have a quarterback that can execute when it matters the most. So, I mean, that's how you win football games. And when you don't do things like that, obviously you're not going to have a good chance to win football games. So,
yeah, I mean, kind of to piggyback off what you're saying, like, I feel like this year there's kind of been a theme to whether there's a win and a loss. And it really might be with any team, but with us, it's whenever we let a quarterback and a running back run on us. Whenever we don't execute third downs and execute in the red zone.
Yep.
And then whenever we turn the ball over, obviously, like all of that happened this on Saturday. And, we're coming to the audience a day later because I think we all needed time to kind of digest what was happening. But, I mean, I think offensively, the first drive, great. Like I thought after seeing that first drive offensively, I thought we were going to be.
I thought we were going to be the ones that were going to kill them.
And good position, but I will say they started with the ball. Then their first drive, seeing the first play, I was like, okay, we're in for a long day because we have had a lot of trouble with really good running backs this year. And like, he's one that like has went under the radar, but I've watched him like throughout the year. He's like that, like all credit to him because he's one of those guys, like just like Ashton Genty, low center of gravity, hard to tackle. He's one of those like bowling, like he's a pinball out there. Like you can very hard to tackle. So like as a player, like I understand like how hard that could be to go and try and make a tackle on them. Obviously, as fans, we're like, well, that's your job. Like, go do that. It's easier. Obviously, it's easier said than done. I'd like to see any of you go out there and try and go tackle that guy. I could tell you it wouldn't be easy, but I mean, and that's why you have to tackle as a committee. And we just everybody wasn't getting to the ball. I mean, when you're getting to the ball one at a time, he was kind of just bouncing off one at a time. But that's why you want to get as many hats to the ball at the same time as possible. And we just couldn't do that. And from an offensive standpoint, we just really couldn't get anything going. I think they like I don't know exactly what time of possession was, but it felt like they were just had the ball the whole time. Like that's what it felt like, at least, and we just couldn't get anything going on offense.
No, yeah, I agree. I think I don't know what time of possession is either, but I think that's a good stat. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about when you're on offense, you're on the bench and you feel like, you're having a hard time finding a rhythm. The defense is having a hard time finding their rhythm. It's a tough dynamic to, keep, focused and, even with play calling on both sides, it can be a totally different game plan. So yeah, you're totally right. And then I knew their offense was pretty solid, but I was pretty impressed with the Arizona State's defense. So I thought they gave us, a run for our money for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm like at this point in the year, I'm always pro Big 12. it's because I probably played against. I guess we didn't play against Arizona State, but I really do hope they do well in the college football playoff. They're a solid team, and I like to see the Big 12 win. So hope they do. Maybe they will.
I'm pro Big 12 too, but I'm also kind of like realistic when it comes to that stuff.
Right? No, I hear you. Completely understandable.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like and we played Notre Dame and Clemson in bowl games, and we realized kind of like how different that is, and that's just a level that Iowa State's trying to get to, and
right.
We will get there eventually, but that's just like that's a different level of like football. Like they have, I remember in that first bowl game against Notre Dame, I remember I got put in on kick return, and I had to block their starting linebacker, bro. He was on kick return. He was their starting outside linebacker.
Pretty sure he was an All-American, if I remember right, too.
Yeah. Bro, and he was just running down, sprinting. I picked him up at like the 20-yard line. I'm like, he gets 40 yards to sprint at me untouched. Yeah, like I really felt how different that was. And that was when Notre Dame was like,
they're pretty good.
I mean, they're good now.
Okay,
but
yeah,
I think
right,
that was like when they were like
mediocre to their fans, probably, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I remember that same game. I'm just a little freshman on the sidelines, and Chase Claypool's going off. He's going crazy. And he catches one down the sidelines, like just some sick catch. And he gets up and he starts talking trash to me. And because I'm just standing there on the sidelines on the opposite side of the field. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, welcome to college football. Hello. Like, that dude's ginormous. He's really fast. And yeah, so.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. Like, football's an any given day sport. So, like, any given day, a team can win against any team. Don't get me wrong. But there is obviously a hierarchy to this.
So when you guys walk out of this game, how do you think, like, what do you think what went on in the locker room? Like, when knowing Campbell like you know him, what do you think he went in there and said? How do the guys bounce out of this?
That locker room scene's tough. It is. So it doesn't matter when it's either, you play for a game like that, or you're playing, you're playing your last game and it's all the seniors and, the team's, not going to be the same next year. Those are tough. It's very emotional. Campbell's just, honestly, he's very honest, and what happened. And, he kind of says it how it is. And, he focuses on the bigger picture, I think, a lot of the times, which makes him a really cool coach, because he's right. When you step away from the game, and yeah, that's heartbreaking. Like me and Jirehl were in that locker room in 2020. It's a heartbreaking loss, because you're playing for everything you've worked for so long, like the off-season training, all those, like it comes down to that game essentially. And, when you lose that game, it's a really tough feeling. But I will say, on the other side of being a player, and that will sting for a while. It did for us. But looking back on like at least my journey, I thought it like, I don't know, that's 4 years ago now for me when we lost in that game. And I look more of it not in the win and loss column. Obviously, we wanted to win in 2020 just as bad as we did yesterday or, on Saturday. But once you step away from the game, it's a cool experience to say, hey, I played in the Big 12 championship game at the end of the day. So that's just me kind of on the other side of things right now. But in that locker room, it's heartbreaking. It's a lot of, tears, and, it's not fun when, you put in that much work for a goal and you don't get it accomplished. But that's why it's a game.
Yeah. I mean, knowing Campbell, he probably went in there and took responsibility for it, just not having them prepared the way that they needed to be to win the game. That's just kind of who he is. He'll take it on the chin before he puts it on any player or any other coach. He'll say, point the finger at him before anything. Jake kind of talked about in 2020, like from a player's perspective, like as a senior, you're like whoever's like last ride this was, you're in distraught. You know, you really worked very hard this season to get to this point, and you know, it's a tough game to lose, especially when, you know, it would have been you were making history all season, and this would have been another one for the history books. And in a game that, I mean, we really could have won this game. Obviously, not the way that we played on Saturday, but it's a game that definitely, you know, if we played it again, maybe next Saturday, we possibly play better, and it doesn't look the way that it does. But as a player, as a senior, you feel that, and you kind of just have to live with that. You know, as a player that's coming back next year, like I remember Charlie Kolar stood up and said, "We will be back next year." Obviously, we didn't go on to be back the next year, but like that's motivation. Like you see that, like you saw Rocco standing there watching the other team's celebration. Like like that's motivation. That's what you know, guys get that experience. They get there, and you know, they get that hunger to go back, and you know, that just makes for a good story next year if they win it. You know, the team that got here last year and lost and saw what it took to win, and you know, pulled it out the next year. So, you know, as a player, you're obviously heartbroken, but you know, for the guys that are coming back, you see what you can do. You see the possibilities that you have, and you don't want to come up short the next time.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like the biggest growth in college football, Jirehl, is from, you know, losses, and you know, bad times, and especially with a program like Iowa State, losses can, you know, develop change. I know Campbell's always talked about how he had teams that when he first got here, we had to believe, and then we had to, you know, learn how to win close games, and then we had to learn how to, you know, and that all comes from losses. Like, can you believe still after you keep losing and losing each week? And that's a good point to bring up about this year. Yeah, we lost, you know, ultimately the big one. But I mean, if you look back at our year for a second, 10 wins, like incredible year. I remember years, Jirehl, when we had 3 losses by the time it was game 4. And that's how many losses we have right now. And we've played 13 games. So, you know, you just sit back, and Campbell hit in the press conference. He hopes people are proud of, you know, this team. And my gosh, I am. Like, holy cow, what a fun group that was.
Yeah.
And you get to play another one. That's the best part about it.
Yeah.
Against a good team, like in a stadium that we're all so very used to by now.
Oh, very familiar.
Orlando. Well, I mean, looking ahead to that, we have what, 2 weeks? So
yeah, I think 2 weeks.
Yeah, about a little over 2 weeks.
2.5.
Yeah. For this game, bowl game, Pop-Tarts Bowl against Miami. What happens in these 2 weeks? Like, if this was you guys, what does the schedule look like? How are you preparing for this game?
Well, players have finals right now, right?
Next week.
I don't know
I think it's,
I don't know what school's going on right now. Yeah, so obviously you'll work out and do it. There won't be any practices, right? It'll just be workout in school.
Yep.
Workouts in school, and then the week of, week before.
Yeah, week before.
Yeah, the week before there's practices, and then you gear up to head down to Orlando for the week and practice down there for the whole week.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. You get the guys got a little break for a little bit, and then we'll start practicing before we head down there, which is good. But I know there's a lot of talk about bowl games, and this has kind of been on my mind all day because I keep hearing about it. Like,
is this your soapbox? You said
I might have to go on a soapbox here at the end of the day. I don't know who I'm talking to here or whatever, but I was at the gym this afternoon and I had some good tunes on. At the end of the day, you're playing a child's game. You played this game, growing up in the backyard, watching football. You played in high school. You played in, now you're lucky enough to play in college. And I mean, obviously people have to do what's best for them, right? Some guys, have to go in the transfer portal. That's what's best for them. And nothing against any of that, or, even like if I was getting offered millions of dollars to be the number one quarterback taken in the draft, I might consider not playing too. But on the other side, I loved playing football. And as bad as that loss stung on Saturday, which it was bad, it stunk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that are out there in the world that don't know Jake, he can't say his NGs, so you got to really work with him whenever it's
you got me. We made a whole year.
Yeah, ong. Yeah, I was gonna let it rock. There was no comments about it, so I was gonna let it rock the whole year.
We almost made it to the end of the year, man.
Yeah, that one was kind of bad though. But we're gonna let it rock. You said stun. I was like, people ain't gonna know what that's talking about.
I'm sorry, whatever. Regardless, Jirehl, I'm back on my
Continue.
Get back on the bullshit.
Yeah. I love playing the game, or did love playing the game of football. It was awesome. And as a fan, I'm still fired up for these guys. At the end of the day, they get to play one more game as a team, whoever decides to play, whatever's best for them, to go smash someone in the face for 4 quarters on a bowl game. And not only that, you're playing against the U. Mm-hmm. And if I'm an old school football fan at my heart. I watched the 30 for 30s on Miami. The amount of, if I was a player right now, yes, it's going to take a while to get to this point where I'm at today, but to be able to put my helmet through that U in a bowl game, like that's incredible. That's an incredible opportunity. So I know those guys will be fired up. I know that's the culture we've built at Iowa State is, being fired up for these bowl games. But man, I would love, to go against the U in a bowl game. Like how cool is that? How so much history. And so much, you hear all about, it's all about the U. It's all about the U.
That's all I hear in my head when I hear Miami.
Right. So, I mean.
Really? That's what y'all hear? I hear that song. I hear that song with like Greg Olson and all them boys.
See, exactly.
That's the 7. I hear the 7th flow. What's the 7th flow?
Yeah. Something like, I don't even know. So that's kind of my soapbox, right? It's another opportunity. And I had this viewpoint as a player because, we've lost these type of games before and they're not fun. I mean, even like last year, going to play in Memphis in the Liberty Bowl, that's not a great game by any means, but it was just another opportunity. And not only that, bowl games are fun of your team. Like they're a blast no matter, So as a fan, I'm fired up. I mean, I woke up today, the sun was shining and my Cyclones get to go play the U in a bowl game in a couple weeks in the Pop-Tart Bowl even. So that's my soapbox. If you're a football guy, fan, I hope you're with me and you're fired or, you're fired up with me. So.
And we're playing a Heisman finalist, bro.
Yeah, right. I was going to say that came out today.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm fired up, but I mean, we can jump into bowl games, Jirehl. I mean, what were you? I mean, I loved bowl games.
I was going to say, you said they were a blast. What makes them a blast? Is it just the opportunity to play a team you don't typically play? Is it just, it's the end of the season, so it's kind of like throw it all out there? What makes it so fun?
I mean, if we're going to talk about the overall like activities that you do at the bowl game, like that's that's fun to do. Like
all the pre-game stuff?
Right.
Yeah, right. Like I remember just like, what we went to Universal. Well, I mean, what else did we do?
Yeah,
because we went to
Top
Orlando
Golf
a couple of times. Top Golf.
Yeah, I mean these are all just fun things.
Fogo de Chao.
Oh, Fogo de Chao, like buffets.
Oh,
you just get to go out and everyone, the team gets to go at nighttime. You have free time, so you hop on electric scooters, and you can just go around the city of Orlando and have a ball. Like go in the pool. I remember in 2021, I had a bad ankle. My ankle was so messed up, and I was doing treatment at the pool. Like I was doing my water therapy in the pool with everyone else, with all the people drinking mojitos. Like it was awesome. So,
But
I mean, those are the kind of fun things.
Yeah, there's definitely things though, like that are optional. So, like, I remember what was it, 21 when we were in Orlando. Is that the year we played Clemson?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was gonna be that was my first game starting. So we went to a Universal that week, and it was going to be like a lot of walking. And I remember I wasn't going to go. And Coach Campbell even came to my room after everybody left to make sure that I didn't go. He was like, "Yeah, you don't need to go out there and walk."
Yeah, that's the best bowl game was when you're a scout team guy.
Exactly, bro. So like when you know you're not when you know you're not going to play, like I played special teams freshman year, but like that was like it. Right. I played a couple of kick returns, so like I knew I wasn't going to play much. So like it was fun the whole week though. Like, I only had to prepare for freaking kick return really. We had 5 running backs that year. I wasn't getting in the game.
One of my favorite bowl game stories is when me and Grant Schreiber, you wouldn't have been there, Jirehl, because you were playing, but we had a scout team dinner the night before we played Notre Dame. And I mean, you go to the scout team dinner, it's kind of with all like it's not even the GAs, it's like the quality people. They take you out. I think Hillman was with us, but we would go to this fun little restaurant, and me and Grant Schreiber try to put away as many Dr. Peppers as we could in one sitting. And it was the funnest time. Like we were just the waitress, like, another Dr. Pepper, please. Like it was awesome.
Yeah, there's definitely people that like know that they're playing, and there's definitely people that know that they're not playing.
Right.
So like you can, like, based on what you know, I guess you can definitely give yourself a time while you're out there, man. It's a free vacation at that point.
Yeah. And what do you think the number one talk in the locker room was today? What was always the number one talk?
What's the gifts that we're getting for the bowl game?
Bingo.
Bowl game gifts, bro. What you getting, bro? I remember.
What are we getting?
Freshman year, it was
freshman year
Tampa World Bowl. It was
Best Buy
gift cards, $500. I remember I got this watch.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Actually, I don't think it was this watch. It was a different watch. This is a newer one.
I think we went Best Buy, then the PS5 for the Fiesta Bowl, which was
PS5 for the Fiesta Bowl was the best one.
The next year was the Cheese End. I think we went back to we went to Amazon gift card that year against Clemson. And then obviously 2022, no game, which is another point. Like, as great it is to be around family for, the holidays and be home for Christmas, you don't, as a football player, like you're hoping you're spending the holidays in Florida.
Oh,
personally, yeah, you are. Like, that break in 2022 was awful. Like, that was so long, and it was not fun. So, and I think last year, I don't even know what we got last year. We just got like a gear ball, I think.
You're definitely hoping that you can get one of those bowl games that you can be there over like Christmas, but get home before New Year's.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
you want to get home, because those bowl games that are like after New Year's, like obviously, if you want to get like the New Year's Six bowl, obviously that's a good bowl. Like I'm not going to knock that bowl at all. Like I'm gonna take that.
Remember when we spent New Year's Eve together in the hotel room? That was great.
Exactly. So like I do that for sure. But one of those like bad bowl games that are after New Year's Eve, terrible, terrible, because you miss Christmas and New Year's Eve with family just to be in one of those like people. People are grateful. People are grateful for bowl games. Don't get me wrong, because obviously they're not easy to come by, but there are bowl games that you're like, man, I'd rather just not make it to a bowl game than go to that.
Like, what's
You
the
ain't
number
wrong.
one bowl you don't want? Like, what's the
See,
one
I
that you're
never-
like, please
The
no.
Armed Forces Bowl in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah, bro. Like obviously they're ones that like I've never been to the Liberty Bowl. Like Jake, you'd have to tell me how that one was. I've just heard from like my freshman year when I got there, people were like, we don't want to go to the Liberty Bowl. And I was like, all right. And obviously that voice was Jaquan and Josh Bailey. We don't want to go to the Liberty Bowl. So like obviously I know that one's bad, but there's other ones that like really the only ones that we've been to are the Fiesta and the Camping World ones. Like those are the only ones that I know for real.
I enjoyed myself at the Liberty Bowl. I thought it was cool. I you know I'm a big music guy, so I like those music type streets. Beale Street was fun.
The
People said
Liberty Bowl
the
was
Alamo
fun the
is
first
pretty cool.
time.
You didn't enjoy
In
it
San Antonio?
the second time?
I
They
mean, I
lost.
did, but
He lost the
you
second
have that kind of loss, and it's that cold.
Right.
Like my fingers were cramping down there. I had nothing to take pictures of.
Yeah.
Like,
At least it'll be hopefully warm in Orlando for whoever's going down, which I encourage you, if you're thinking about it, you should, because bowl games are
you?
fun. I'm not, no. My trip was the Dallas trip. So
Mhm.
same.
I will be watching at home. It's actually my mom's birthday that day. So shout out, Mom.
Shout out moms.
So before we switch topics, I am curious. Obviously, bowl games are a hot topic right now, and I think they will be for a while.
Right.
Some people are going as far to say they're just completely meaningless. They don't mean anything. So that was something Miles Purchase brought up. He said, like, these aren't meaningless to us.
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys think about that? Like the fact that there are people who are saying these don't even matter anymore.
I would, kind of on my soapbox earlier, I would disagree. Especially for the player. I mean, in the fans' eyes, I can get it kind of. But in the players' eyes, it's a bunch of guys that love playing football, and it's another opportunity to do it. And honestly, it's against a good team. You said that Cam Ward is playing.
He was on FaceTime with Shadir Sanders talking about how he wants it to be a high scoring game. Just both offenses just go out there and score a bunch of
Yeah, I was
points.
saying, I saw on Twitter he was saying stuff about how he's like excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, Miami was a team where for most of the year was considered the ACC college football playoff candidate. They were the front runner
for
that
the
conference.
Yeah, for sure. Where Clemson's at right now.
They're obviously going to have, great players. That's why, I mean, 10 wins is great for a year. Let's make it 11. Like how cool would it be able to say you have an 11-win season? Not a lot of teams get to say they can say that at all. So I don't think they're meaningless. Obviously, like what I was saying earlier, if, individuals feel it's best to not play, I'm not against that by any means. Like go do what you think is best for you and your family and who you are. But as just a guy that loves football, I think there's still so much value in just playing another game, and you get to end the year on the right note. So
yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan. If it counts towards your record, I feel like it counts.
right,
Go play the game.
Something.
If you're a top 10 pick, sit out. I don't care. Play the game if you want. I mean, Cam Ward's probably going to be the second quarterback taken off the board, probably. And he's going to play in the game. It's football. Like you can literally get hurt any play, any game. So like just saying that you're not going to play this game because you're afraid you're going to get hurt. Well, like you played the whole season. Like, were you afraid that you're going to get hurt the whole season too? Like, come on. Like it's another football game. Just go out there and play it. But like, I understand those guys are literally, if they got an injury in it, like that's $20 million that they wouldn't get. Those first like top 10 guys. Like I understand that. Like, shoot, you don't need to prove anything to us. Let the dude behind you eat. Let me see how good you are helping the younger guys on the sideline. Let me see that then. Like, you know what I mean? But those guys that go to the game and and interact with the team and stuff like that. Like if you're not going to play, like be that type of player.
100%.
Yeah, it's a good point. Well, I was just curious on your thoughts on that, just with how much the conversation has changed, especially with the college football playoff changing the way it has. And just watching this weekend, I mean, did you guys sit and watch all the other games? Because those were just as crazy. Like,
Yeah.
who knows what's going to happen in this game
Who
against
knows?
Miami? Truly.
Yeah. Who knows?
So
Never know.
it'll be a fun game. In the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Are you jealous you can't play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl?
Yeah, I am.
Pop-Tarts?
All the free Pop-Tarts.
I like Pop-Tarts more than I like Cheez-Its. So yeah, man.
Right? Like imagine if we got, we got those boxes, the ceremonial Cheez-It boxes. I still have mine. I should have brought it. Darn it.
Oh, you should have.
There was a
Imagine
bunch
if
in
they
the
could
locker
do
room
this.
right after the game.
A ceremonial Pop-Tart box. That'd be so cool.
So I hear that the winner gets to pick 3 flavors. What are you picking? What do you even pick?
Brown sugar cinnamon.
Yep.
You gotta have brown sugar cinnamon. If you don't have brown sugar cinnamon, you can't be my friend.
That's
I
one.
promise you that. You
Okay.
can't be my friend.
Yep.
Well, I do like those, so I qualify.
There you go. I think strawberry's good.
The
And
OG.
my sleeper pick is the s'mores one. I love the s'mores
See,
one.
I like the s'mores one. I like the milkshake one too. The strawberry
yeah.
milkshake.
Oh.
That's a good one.
Pop-Tarts are fire.
I've not had that.
If we want to take it
Yeah.
full circle, I just remembered this. I'm pretty sure Kyle Conradi was the Pop-Tarts player of the week after the Iowa game. Full
He
circle.
was.
And he got
He
that big box of Pop-Tarts.
They sent him a bunch of Pop-Tarts to the facility. I saw
Oh.
that.
Sick.
Do you toast your Pop-Tarts?
I put them in the microwave.
Oh.
It's better that way.
My go-to Pop-Tart, honestly, is a gas station Pop-Tart. So no.
What?
Yeah.
What is
so,
a gas station Pop-Tart?
like if you're
Please tell me you're not getting Pop-Tarts out of the packet from a gas station, bro.
Absolutely, it's the best kind.
Like-
if you're on the
Like
go,
this-
Like
like
they're
the
bare. Like
individual-
they're bare. Like they're bare. Like there's nothing around them.
oh no, it's in the the snack section. The Pop-Tarts.
Okay.
This is
Oh,
regular.
so like the actual.
Oh, you mean like the small?
so just-
yeah.
Yes, I'm
just
saying.
the one pack.
Yes.
I'm just saying when you go to a gas station and get a Pop-Tart is my favorite kind of Pop-Tart because I don't know. So I never toast it or warm it up because I always eat Pop-Tarts when I get them at the gas station.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
You
Yeah.
like yours room temp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
Right there.
completely-
There's the picture. Yeah.
I
That's
had
kind of
completely
fortunate.
forgot about this.
Yeah,
many do-
there's some good flavors he's holding in his hand right there.
Is that
See the brown
blueberry?
sugar cinnamon.
Oh, the confetti, the birthday cake one's fire too.
Oh, the birthday cake one is good.
Wow.
Or is that milkshake? Or is that milkshake? I can't tell. There's a milkshake on it. I think that's the one I was talking about.
Oh, it might be. I might have to go get some. I might have to go get a gas station Pop-Tart after this.
Yeah, maybe
Bro, I just got
when
some
we record
Pop-Tarts.
in person, we all just stack up on our favorite.
Pop-Tarts.
Actually, no free advertising here.
Oh yeah, no free advertising. No free shout outs. No free shout
You
outs.
got-
Speaking
you gotta
of-
pay- you gotta
Yeah,
pay
speaking
for
of,
Wyffels Hybrids,
Wyffels Hybrids.
the presenting sponsor.
Shout out
whether
Wyffels.
whether it's supporting the Cyclones or helping farmers grow stronger crops, Wyffels Hybrids knows the value of teamwork. As an independent family-owned seed company, they've been dedicated to the success of corn growers for over 75 years. And they've supported us all season.
absolutely appreciate you guys at Wyffels.
We are also sponsored by the Iowa State University Ivy College of Business. It's Iowa's largest undergraduate business college. So if you're, headed into a future in business, no better place to do it than Iowa State University. So if that's what you're hoping to pursue, Iowa State's the place to be.
Appreciate it. Ivy College Business.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out.
Looking at other areas of football, the transfer portal opened technically today. So obviously a lot of moving pieces. It was something Coach Campbell was asked about right away in the press conference. And I don't know if you guys saw it. I tweeted it. He said, we're not transactional, we're transformational.
Oh yeah,
And I
classic.
was like, yep, poetic Matt Campbell.
Yep.
Would love your guys' thoughts on just the way it's evolved. Obviously, NIL plays a huge role in it now.
Right.
And obviously, Iowa State's necessarily not an exception to the craziness of the portal. I mean, what do you guys think about how this impacts a team, especially, I mean, it's open today, and like we said, the team has 2.5 weeks to prepare for a bowl game.
I feel like, at least at Iowa State, like you kind of have a feel of who's going to leave, except that one year that like Ishim, Eric, Easy, like all of them, just like everybody in Jake and I's class left. That was because they literally sat in a room and was like, one person said, "I'm leaving." So they all said, "Okay, we leave it too." So like with things like that happen, like it's a little bit different. But like as a team, like you can kind of like feel like who's going to like not going to be there the next year. Like you know, like people start to draw kind of away from the team, and more towards like maybe a couple of just players on the team instead of like the whole team as a whole. But I mean, like you wish them the best. Like they came here, it just didn't work out. Some people like I don't think Iowa State's ever had it to where it was like, oh my God, he left. Like that guy left. Like it was never somebody that was like a starter for 3 years and then just took off to go play at Alabama or something like that. You know what I mean? So like nothing like that's ever happened. So like talent wise on the field, like nothing's like really changed. It's more been guys who haven't had an opportunity yet, and they're going off somewhere to get an opportunity.
No, yeah, I agree completely. You know, it's a great move for some guys that want a fresh scene who aren't seeing the field at their respective universities at the time. Which is one of the great things about the transfer portal is they can go somewhere and have a instant impact. You don't have to have any rules or anything regarding that. I think of guys like Aiden Bowman, who probably was never going to see the field at Iowa State, and he is changing that program at South Dakota right now, who they'll play in the playoffs again this weekend, which is a great story for Bo. But yeah, there's some stories like that which are really good, and there's some other stories where, you know, it's not always greener on the other side. And you know, I feel like a lot of people can get caught up of, you can see the grass looking greener, which is interesting to see how that's going to play with money and stuff. You saw with like earlier this year, the UNLV quarterback didn't get his paycheck essentially, and he sat out. So it's
the portal at the beginning of the year. They went 3-0. He said, "I'm gone."
Yeah,
you're not getting no more of me.
Which is it's going to be interesting, that dynamic with that. As far as for the guys on the team who want to stay, and it's nothing against the guys that leave. Like, you know, as a player, you love those guys, you respect those guys, you know, you wish them nothing but the best. At the end of the day, you hope they find somewhere that they can show their talents more on the football field, not just, you know, on the practice field or anything like that. Facts. Or maybe if they, you know, so as a player, you're always, there's no hard feelings ever. It's like, you think about, I saw, you know, Arizona State's coach, actually, he was, you know, very vocal about his players, like, going to find other opportunities. That's kind of how you feel as a player on the team. Like you want nothing but the best for them. So there's no really hard feelings in the locker room. It's hard to see guys go sometimes that you've been close with. And I think about our roommate Blake entered the transfer portal, and, you know, it was hard to see him go more from, you know, being his roommate than, you know, being a teammate, because we get it teammate wise. It's an interesting, you know, world, and I hope hope that the guys at Iowa State see how lucky they are to have it at Iowa State. I think if you ask some of the guys who have left Iowa State how other programs compared to Iowa State, I mean, we truly have such a great program to be a part of. The coaches, the facilities, the people around the program, like, it's all around good program. So it's really fortunate to play at this played at this university where, you know, regardless of what was kind of happening, you felt like you were playing at a great university and great place to play. So it's weird, but
know some people who left who asked if they could come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sometimes it doesn't always work out, and I think, it's kind of it is unfortunate for some guys who it's so crowded in the portal. Like there's so many people, and if you enter, I have to assume it's not a great chance you're gonna go where you think you want to go, that's unfortunate because there's so many people that enter it. But yeah, I mean, if you can find a good spot out of the portal, I think that's also that's the best move for an individual. So
yeah, I feel like Iowa State has definitely been fortunate, at least in football, right? You haven't had anything too crazy. Like you haven't been the headlines,
right?
In terms of what's going on in the transfer portal.
Well,
been the headlines.
I was about to say, yeah. In terms of what's going on in the
transfer portal,
I was going to say headlines in other ways for sure. But
yeah, we get it, guys.
I remember when everybody thought I was going to get into the transfer portal like every year.
Really?
Every year that Brees didn't leave. He's gone.
Yeah, it's because you had great roommates, though. You just loved living with us.
I was going to say, was Remy the reason?
I'm just going to...
I was going to say, I wish people could see the look you're giving.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably more on like what pushed me out the door. I'm just playing. No, I love Remy, bro. I loved living with Remy for 4.5 years.
It was a fun time.
Right?
I don't think I've laughed this hard on a podcast.
I love this podcast. I feel so unfortunate. Yeah, he should have FOMO.
I mean, you have to laugh through the pain, and
So I said,
literally found myself during the game, like asking, "Is this what it's like to be an Iowa State fan? Is this what it's like?" Because look, we get, we stop them from scoring. We go down and score. Next drive, 4th and 1. Oh my God, 63 yards. 63 yards. Is this what it's like? Did none of y'all see him run right by y'all? The guy's sprinting.
So you just suffering through it?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think it's like I was literally telling my girl, like, I think it's good that I didn't go to the game because I probably would have got arrested up there in Texas. I was screaming at my TV like, oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah, being on the sideline, it wasn't any better. I definitely lost all composure. I think after a while, it was like after the second interception, I stood there with my mouth open, like, are you serious? Or is this really happening right now? Are they having the game I thought Iowa State was going to have?
Right. Hey, at least Neo was fire. I thought Neo was awesome.
Second time I've seen him. I saw him at the State Fair.
Oh. I love that.
Getting that text from Jake saying he knows all of the songs for me. And I think it's funny because literally this week with the Apple Music or the Spotify Wrapped or whatever thing, and Jake sent me his, and it's so much different than when he was living with me because the songs he listened to are just so much different. He's all country now. He's all country now. He used to have rap and R&B in there.
R&B for sure. You put me on some good R&B songs, man, back in the day. I just need to have you send me weekly songs of the week every week.
Yeah, I can get you on some new things, bro.
Appreciate it.
Music's where I love music, man.
Same.
Well, Dallas was fun. Aiden has something that shows how much fun Remy had in Dallas.
Oh, cool. Yes, sir.
This poll was so hard.
It's a video of Jake riding.
Oh yeah, Jake.
I tried my best.
Hey, you're on there.
Oh snap! Oh my God! Oh my God! Your legs did not hook on at all, bro.
No, I'm too big.
Oh my gosh, Jake!
That's hilarious.
Jake, I swear I'm getting closer to you now, man.
That's a great video. But what a great surprise.
Yeah, we've had that one locked up.
That's fantastic.
I know.
That was hard. That was really hard.
Well, we're proud of you.
Thanks.
It was, yeah, like I said, Dallas was a good time. I look forward to returning.
Yeah.
You'll have to come next time, Jirehl.
Yeah. Next year, Jirehl.
Rocco Beck said they're going back.
Yep.
I believe it with Rocco, to be honest.
I'll believe
man.
anything with him. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the one thing I took away after we like finished media stuff was when all four guys came in, they're just all still, you can just tell how close they are. You can tell how close knit it is, how tight everyone is. Like, I don't even need Campbell to come in and like speak, his coach speak, because all you have to do is just sit and watch the guys together.
Absolutely.
So I do think that is a really positive thing that people should take away from the game, is just knowing that a team that, I mean, is that close knit, I think they'll figure it out.
I agree.
So
Let's beat the U.
yeah,
I'm fired up for
excited.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
really excited.
I'm gonna have to watch the 30 for 30s before the game. Nice, Jai.
Nice.
You down.
Too bad we can't play the song, Remy.
I know. It's all about the U.
Down.
I bet that plays at practice. I hope it does. Skip, if you're listening to this, make sure that song gets on the practice playlist.
Knowing Mouse, it's probably going to be the song that I was talking about with Greggles and all the
probably.
engineers.
Yeah.
Knowing Mouse and Skip.
Yeah.
They was probably getting down to that back in high school or something.
Well, guys.
I think Coach Waters is the person that showed me that song.
Oh, wow. I don't know him at all, but that just from just looking at him. I'm
He's
impressed.
awesome. Hey, shout out Coach Clan too. 35 under 35.
Say, we hadn't mentioned that yet.
Yeah. Shout out Coach Clanton, man.
Yeah, an accomplishment.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool honor. Ever since he's, took over that room, it's you really see a lot of those guys really playing good football. And so shout out to him. Not only that, he's a great guy to hang out with too. Play some Call of Duty or whatever. I wasn't a video gamer, but yeah, it's cool. I think Jalen Travis was first team all PFF left tackle this week as well. So, you really see that transformation in that room. So good little shout out to those guys. Always give my shout out to my O-line guys.
I love it.
I'll get my
final
running
thoughts?
backs in line for
Say.
everybody else, guys. I'll do it. My bad.
Get them in line. Well, this was fun, guys.
Great pod.
Great
I
pod.
enjoyed myself.
Well,
See you guys in a couple weeks after the bowl game, huh? Is that the next time we're gonna meet?
I don't know. We're gonna have to figure out the schedule. I think we're gonna meet up in person again. We'll eat our Pop-Tarts out of the wrapper because no free advertising again. So,
No free ads. No
yeah,
free
we'll-
ads. No
But-
free ads.
We'll be back, and as always, shout out to our presenting sponsor, Wyffels Hybrids. We're here doing this because they support us. So, thanks for listening, guys.
Deuces.